Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Heather Stamper. Probably figured that out because of the title of the YouTube channel. And I am a teacher. I teach second grade. I love to write, and I am going on an adventure, as the certain hobbit likes to say. I have been working on my writing for almost as long as I can remember. I have written full-length novels, I've written picture books, I've written everything in between, comma, but, it's a big but, haven't been published. I belong to a writers group who, with the help of my husband and all my friends, they've been giving great suggestions. And I send out the query letters and all that wonderful quarantine time. I really think that it has a lot of potential. So, comma, but, no bites yet. So I decided that during my summer break, I was going to get involved with my writing in a different way and hopefully get enough out there where I could maybe, perhaps, get published. So this adventure is all about me working on my writing and taking ideas, suggestions, and maybe just get out there and get published. So if that's the type of thing you're ready to get into, then come along and enjoy the ride. So let me tell you a little bit about the story I've been working on. It's called Nibble Nibble. It is basically the story of the Wicked Witch from Hansel and Gretel, told from her perspective. I am a big fan of Robin McKinley and Marissa Myers, who wrote the Cinder books, the Lunar Chronicles, and Heartless. And I just was like, got my brain to thinking. You know who we never hear about? We never hear about the other characters from Hansel and Gretel, particularly the witch. And it made me start thinking of questions like, how does one build a gingerbread house in the middle of the forest in probably around the 1800s? I'll be generous with time. How does a gingerbread house keep from melting or becoming all moldy and disgusting? What's a witch doing out there in the first place? Is she on the run? Is she guilty of a crime? Or is she in exile? Didn't know. So I started playing around with the ideas. And about a year ago, I started writing the basic outlines for the story and started doing character development and things like that. Then, even though we've had all this quote unquote wonderful quarantine time where you would think, gee, she's a writer, she could totally finish up that book. No, not so much. It kind of stalled out a little bit. And so I really want to finish this book. And I decided to try something. I want to try doing the NaNoWriMo camp in July. Now, what is NaNoWriMo? NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month, which usually takes place in November, which is not a good time for writing if you're a teacher, because usually that's the end of the first quarter parent-teacher conferences. Oh my goodness, we've got to do a Thanksgiving hootenanny thing. And oh, by the way, the children are already ready for Christmas break. Right. I wanted to get involved with the NaNoWriMo organization again. I had done the November thing before, but I wanted to, give myself a little kick in the pants here. So let me share with you a little bit about the NaNoWriMo website. It's nanowrimo.org. Link will be put in the description below. So here is the nanowrimo.org website. It is completely free. They're a nonprofit organization. They helping writers out. As you can see, they take donations. I am not a spokesperson for the NaNoWriMo. I'm just showing you what my page is like. Okay, so this is my basic dashboard page. Has my name, and the camp starts the 1st of July. And my writing is in progress. So one of the things that I did was I filled out a little bit of information just so that other people can see what's going on with this story. My goal is to get to 25,000 words. Usually novels get 80,000 words, which is a lot. But right now I'm at about 16,000 words ish in the story. So I figure if I can get to 25,000 by the end of July, I will be in pretty good shape, because it's all about the baby steps. So when you sign up, you give your general information, create a little page like this, and you can put in information about your story. This way, other writers can see it and be intrigued, maybe give some helpful hints and whatnot. So, Nibble Nibble is a fantasy, obviously. Basic summary is that it's the retelling of Hansel and Gretel, but from the witches, her name's Hilda's, perspective and backstory. And here's an excerpt. Now, this isn't required, but since I already had a portion of it written, I thought, why not? So I'm going to share that with you here. King Stefan von Gefallen III summoned both Hilda and Alexander before him. You are both excellent in the dessert arena. I have had the pleasure of eating some of Hilda's savory main courses. Based on what was presented to me today, I can't make a decision. So I issue the two of you a tiebreaker challenge. I want your interpretation of Suckling Pig. Now, these two characters, Hilda and Alexander, are both trying to get the job of head chef of the king's castle. Side note. He turned his gaze directly to Hilda. Your interpretation, not your grandmother's recipe. Yes, your majesty. She dipped a low curtsy and barely bit her lip. Suckling pig was her least favorite meal under her grandmother's tutelage and had never been worthy of the royal table. Did the king pick this meal on purpose? It was not so much that the roasting itself was hard. It was crisping the skin of the pig. The king's preference was for the skin to be just short of burnt, flaking and crackling. Hilda's would come out too soft or burnt. It's a matter of heat and timing, her grandmother told her. Cook it low and slow, then heat the oven to full blast to crisp the skin. Adding heat too soon and the skin is charred. Wait too long and it won't crackle. There was her skin. She would always get blisters from the pork drippings. When the fat would drip into the fire, it would spark up and land on her hands, neck, and face. She would try to avoid any fatty pork products if she could help it. Not that she was vain, the grease burns hurt worse more than anything. Soak your hands in cold water as long as you can stand it. Then the heat won't hurt so much. As for your face, who said you needed to look pretty when you cook? A true chef is known by their battle scars. The king gave them 48 hours to roast the pig. Hilda decided to make a quick brine using salt, water, and brown sugar for 20 hours. Then into the smoker for another 22 hours. The sauces and sides would take no time while the pork rested. 48 hours later, she presented her pig to the king. He sniffed and examined the color of the skin and the meat. I've never seen such a deep smoke ring, and yet it's not burnt or dry, he said. Then he took 2 slices of pork and ate it without any garnish. He closed his eyes and sighed. Not a word was spoken. The second slice, he put it on a piece of brioche and slathered the sauce on before he ate it. It didn't need the sauce, but oh my, that was delicious. Why didn't your grandmother let you serve this before? How do you know that I didn't? Inside, she was secretly cheering. The king knew about her cooking while her grandmother was alive. She didn't care that Alexander still needed to serve his dish. Apparently, the king didn't care either. He only took a couple of bites of the second roast and said, Oof, I can't eat another bite. I'm so full I might just turn into a pig. Alexander sighed and bowed. Well, I know when I've been beaten. Thank you for the opportunity to cook for you, your majesty. He extended his hand to Hilda. Congratulations, the best chef won. Perhaps one day we can cook with each other instead of against. She gave a brisk pump of his hand. Highly unlikely, but it's good to have a goal. Best of luck. He pulled her in for a hug. That might have been the nicest thing you've said to me. If I didn't know better, I'd swear you're warming up to me. Could it be love? The king spoke up then. Actually, Hilda, I want him as your sous chef. I'd be interested if there would be a romance. Hilda's eyes widened as she shoved him away. Alexander laughed. I appreciate the opportunity, Your Majesty. Hilda's happy too. Look at her. She's speechless. So that's the little excerpt from my story, just to kind of give people a little bit of a taste. Again, totally not required, but it was a fun idea anyway. So I'm sure you must be thinking, but since you've already got so much already started on the story, why would this be hard then to finish it up? Well, I did do some outlining for the story beforehand. But as you write, sometimes you come up with holes in your plot that you didn't think was going to happen. Like, what can you forage in the forest? Or how do you cook a suckling pig? Because goodness knows I've never done it. I'm a teacher and a writer, not a Michelin star chef. So research is going to be very important. So there's a couple of things that I want to focus on in the month of June prior to the actual writing of the story. And one is, I'm not happy with my beginning of the story. What I read to you is not the beginning because I feel it's pretty weak. So I need to work on finding a better hook to do that. So I'll be dedicating an episode to how to develop a good hook, and maybe we can get something going here. I know I need to do more research, so I'm going to do an episode on how to get your sources and making sure that you give credit where credit is due, so on and so forth. I'm also going to work on a little bit of world building. I love developing characters and the world around them. I like to make them very expansive. So I'm going to be doing that. So I'll dedicate an episode towards that end. And then as I think of more things, then I will share those along. So I know that was a bit ranty, and I guarantee you that the next ones will have more shiny interactive things, because this is another learning process for me doing these videos. So I thank you for joining me on this beginning of the journey, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.